Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Anime Lodge. My name is Aaron and I will be your host during your stay here. Harem anime are a dime a dozen, but few shows execute on the harem premise as effectively as 2013's Oreshura. In this episode of Anime You Don't Know, I'll be breaking down the story, characters, and visuals and audio, all spoiler free of course, just so that you consider adding this show to your watch list. Without further ado, let's grab a drink and let's get started. After both of Eita Kito's parents run off with new partners and abandon him, Eita has decided he wants nothing to do with love. He instead devotes all of his time to his studies so that one day he can become a doctor. However, it doesn't take long before school beauty Masuzu Natsuka sets her eyes on Eita, not because she loves him, but because she's noticed Eita's apathetic nature towards love. Masuzu is tired of relentlessly getting confessed to, as she actually shares Eita's hatred for love. Because of this, she has decided Eita is going to be her fake boyfriend. Understandably, Eita refuses this offer, but Masuzu has an ace in her sleeve, a journal filled with wild fantasies of a past life written by none other than Eita himself. If he won't comply, then she'll just leak all of its contents onto the internet, and thus begins Eita's fake high school relationship. Now, there's not much to talk about plot-wise, unless we're talking about plot. The story does have a bit of a slow start to it, but it does pick up by the end of the first episode with the big confrontation between Eita and Masuzu. After that point, the story doesn't feel rushed or too slow. It's able to move along at a pretty consistent pace. The main driving force in the story is the conflict between the characters. I'll talk a little bit more about them later, but we get to spend a lot of time getting to know them and getting to see the things that they struggle with, which is effectively gonna be the things that drive the story forward when you're in a big love polygon shape of some kind. This leads to a pretty pleasant story experience as we get to watch Eita develop strong and relatable relationships with the girls around him. And one thing I am obligated to mention here is Eita actually does choose a girl to be with at the end of the show. That's right, this show has an ending. Now, as I said earlier, I am going to talk about the characters, and I'm going to do that for a bit, so why don't we roll over into that segment of the video. Now, harem anime aren't really known for their tactful main character writing. Most harem protagonists have the personality of a plastic cup. By the way, make sure you like this video if you're a part of Plastic Cup Gang. Oreshura at least has the decency to give Eita a discernible personality. He's not just caring, stupid, and a little pervy. He's intelligent and goal-oriented, which is better than nothing in my book. Now, he is clueless and romantically dense like a lot of his harem protagonist brethren, but at least Eita has a good reason for being clueless. Mind you, Eita has forsaken love because of his parents, so it actually would make sense why he would be a little romantically unintelligent. Moving into the female characters, one thing I should mention now, all of these girls have a different side to them that we do get to experience a bit more. They do fall into some cliches, and I'm going to more so talk about that to avoid spoilers, but just know that all of these girls are a bit more developed than I'm probably going to go into here. Chiwa, the childhood friend and girl next door, is a Genki girl through and through. She's able to bring a lot of energy with her into just about every scene she's in, which makes her a real blast to see whatever she's doing, and it's usually something a little bit wacky and kind of weird. Moving over to the second girl though, Fuyumi Ai, are the token tsundere of the group, definitely has some really funny moments to her. I do enjoy her character quite a bit. Ai-chan wins is probably like one of the funniest lines that reoccurs all throughout the show. It's cute and fun. Himika, or Hime as Eita is taken to calling her, is the resident chunibyo who is actually very similar to Eita. She has all these wild fantasies about a past life and how her and Eita are connected as they were intertwined in their past life. It's nonsense, but it's actually amazing at the same time as you watch her roll around and just spout all of this nonsense towards Eita, which sometimes it actually brings out his inner chunibyo that he had when he was a middle schooler. It's pretty amazing to watch these two interact though. They have some really strong on-screen chemistry. And last but not least though is of course Masuzu, the cold, calculating, and honestly sadistic fake girlfriend. Now, Masuzu is an interesting character. As I stated earlier, all of these characters have two sides to them, and Masuzu is the most apparent from the get-go. She has that cold side that she really only shows to Eita, and then she has the this is who I am to everybody else side, where she's very pleasant and nice to be around, which doesn't really seem to be who she is. And she has a really fun arc as you get to watch her go from not loving Eita for real to actually loving and caring about him. One thing I appreciate about the show is that all of these characters have interesting personalities despite falling into some pretty derivative cliches. What this does for the show though is it creates some really fun and enjoyable character moments. The characters actually get to be real characters and have chemistry with one another, especially with Eita, which is really important when you're building a harem because we want to be able to root for our own particular best girl. And this show makes it pretty hard to choose, honestly. I think all four girls have some goods and bads to each of them, so it's kind of hard to really say who Eita should pick, and like I said earlier, he does end up picking one. Also, I don't really know where to put this, so I'm putting it here, but there's a lot of JoJo references in this show. show.
アーティストは誰かと聞かれたら、ジョジョの奇妙な冒険第4部に出てくるスタンドの
So I just wanted to point that out. And moving over into our final portion of the video where we're talking about audios and visual. So this show is surprisingly well animated. It is done by A1 Pictures, which I didn't know going in, and they do know how to flex their budget on us from time to time. The art style is pretty unique. It has this sort of watercolor feel to it, and personally, I enjoy it. I know taste in art is a lot of release here subjective, so I know people might not enjoy it, but hey, I do. I think it really brings out the comedy side of the romantic comedy that we got going on here, so I just think it complements the tone of the show. When it comes to soundtracks, I can't say anything is particularly memorable, so I'm not going to really waste your time talking about it. I do actually enjoy the OP though. Girlish Lover is really fun. It has a lot of energy and it really captures the tone of the show. I also love how Eita's just not in the opening. Now, Oreshura is a quick 13 episode watch and you can find it on Crunchyroll if you're interested. If you enjoy harem anime or if you're a fan of romantic comedies and you're looking for something solid but not groundbreaking, I think this is definitely the show for you. It has a lot of great character moments and it knows how to have a lot of fun without being super derivative, but I think the fact that the show actually has an ending definitely gives it a few extra points. Anyways, that is all from me, and I will be seeing you next time you checking out the lodge.
ジョジョって焼肉屋さん？ジョジョの奇妙な冒険を知らないというの？知らない。あなたがモテない理由が分かりました。あ、ほら！